Did you have a nice break? You know, you don't know out the back, but us stars that go out the back there, we've got our own rooms with lights round the mirrors, and there's bottles of wine, and there's chilled beer, and there's a telly. Nearly didn't come back, but we had a vote and we said that you were all so nice, you deserve another hour. So we're going to do it now. We're going to start big style. The local group that walks around with built-in amplifiers are going to sing for you, two of which I haven't introduced to you yet. The first song we had at the beginning of the night was led by Alan Fitzsimmons. Alan Fitzsimmons. He's been around for years, and when I read about him, I found out that, in fact, he'd been heavily involved in Gosforth Folk Club. Have we got any people here from Gosforth Folk Club? Yes, we have, you see. In fact, all of these people, there's another one, all these people have been involved with the folk clubs in Tyneside, and it's great that we've got such a divergence on the platform now. And Alan's going to be joined by George Unthank. You'll be able to thank him in a few moments. He's going to get up. He's the Billy Elliot of the group. He might come skidding across the stage. It's disappointing that he's failed 3 auditions for Riverdance. But, I mean, he's still dancing. He danced with Redcar Longsword Dancers, and on moving to Tyneside, he's been involved with Addison Rapper, and I've seen him on loads of times. You see him with top hats and bells and all sorts. He's never grown up. He's a kid. So would you welcome them all together? Beautiful sound, especially on Trafalgar Day, for the Keelers.
Now you are born, another to feed. Small thou were once, lad, but great is our need, for the work is scarce. Your dad's on the door. They won't name more men, 'cause they've got too much corn. Winners we're crying for. Winners we made us set poor. Winners what you gonna do? Winners what's in store for you? Now you're a boy, you play in the streets, you fish in the burn and perform such great feats, while the pit heaps stand, marking the graves of fathers and sons and the lives that they give. Winners we're crying for. Winners we made us set poor. Winners what you gonna do? Winners what's in store for you? Now you've left school, a man at 13. Your mother is grim as she looks on the scene, and she makes up your bait. You're off down below, off to the pit with your father you go. Winners we're crying for. Winners we made us set poor. Winners what you gonna do? Winners what's in store for you? Now you're a man, you work in the mine. We're fighting and struggling, you're old for your time, for the work is hard, conditions are bad, and you've promised your sons all the things you've not had. Winners we're crying for. Winners we made us set poor. Winners what you gonna do? Winners what's in store for you? Now you are old, you've worked all you can, but they're closing the pits and you're part of the plan for to cut out waste and make the mines pay. So to hell with you now, lad, and be on your way. Winners we are crying for. Winners we Middlesex poor. Winners what you guarantee. Winners what's in store for ye.
Anybody out there didn't catch that? I was actually told a Pickford joke because he writes jokes and stories as well as the songs and things. And I was talking to somebody who shall remain nameless who said about Ed came out of the Berkeley Folk Club one winter's night and it was blowing a gale and it was a whiteout. It was snow everywhere. You couldn't tell where the roads and the walls was. And he's walking along looking for his bus stop, carrying his guitar, and coming towards him is a sled with 4 dogs on the front and a big Eskimo on the back with a hood with fur all round it, carrying a pizza takeaway. And he goes up to him and he says, "Excuse me, Mara," he says, "can you help me? I'm lost." And the Eskimo said, "You're lost." Yeah. And it's good at writing jokes. He reckoned, he told me, he says, for his daughter's wedding he bought a new suit and he wanted it to last for a long time. So he got the jacket made with 2 pair of trousers. Then he burnt a hole in the jacket. And he rode up. I'm delighted to say that now we're going to have somebody sensibly on. We're going to have Death at the Leak Show, which is obviously a very, very serious song. And we're going to have Frankie and Benny and the Pizza All-Stars are going to get up and sing this. So you take it away, boys, and give it all you've got. I think Andy playing as well? Andy, Benny and Johnny.
Yes, all know that George Formby was very keen on leaks. And that's one of the reasons that he kept sending people across from Lancashire to Tyneside. In fact, Pete's the last one that's been sent over to study leaks so that Lancashire hot pots could be improved. When George Formby was popular, it was very hard to get them little banjos. They had great big long neck banjos, and there was so many of the long neck banjos there, they had to put them in the washing machine and shrink them down to make a ukulele band, and they had run out. So they got some guitars, and they made them just like a banjo with a stringing. And this lad's going to try and be George Formby and shouts high up in various Lancashire expressions during this. Because he came from Liverpool and he never got sent back. But you know that leaks are a very serious subject. And the bigger the leak, the bigger the ego. And them that's in the top 10 are the holy men of the village, the Wak Tal. So anything that happens to a leak, other than putting it on a bench and getting a prize for it, or putting it in a broth, is a serious matter. The most heinous of crimes that ever crawled from the sewers of slime to infect all decent society is a crime of such monstrous notoriety it would test a poor vicar's piety. I hardly dare tell you what I'm on about, in case you should all scream and walk out. But I will. It'll give you nightmares for weeks, for it's all about the slashing of leaks.
Now the club was jam-packed, the leaks were all wrapped, so how could it be that the leaks were attacked? They lay on the floor, all murdered and hacked, a crime that does not speak its name. Now they called Perry Mason, they called in Columbo, they called Sherlock Holmes, but he's now but a Dumbo. Not the hurricane pirate, he talks mumbo jumbo, and all that he does is drink wine. Oh dear, death at the leak show. Oh dear, death at the leak show. Oh dear. foul.
Down from Winlayton came Tom Tuckamada. There isn't a man that could have searched harder till somebody pinched his old Ford Granada. So he went yeb in a hoof. The finger was pointed at Billy near Hexham. His wife was from Baker, but he was from Wrexham. He sang like Tom Jones and did no but vex him for year after year after year.
Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Murder and mayhem most foul. The mystery was solved by Willie MacDougall, useless at darts, but a dab hand on Google. He phoned a tale in the Wark Daily Bugle concerning the leak-slashing whippet. Now leak-slashing dogs, they're the curse of the nation. I've seen them deal drugs on Newcastle station. A cuff round the lugs and a fortnight's probation. It's no way to deal with that crime. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Murder and mayhem most foul.
All of the coppers was tetchy and manic. Fear stalked the Crumbles from Armel to Alnwick. There was less panic on board the Titanic than them looking round for that home. Now the whippet was captured at Newcastle Airport, the shape of his head, the reason he was caught. The minute the checker looked down at his passport, he'd pinched off a Bedlington Terrier.
Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Murder and mayhem most foul. Reward for the capture of Doughty League rippers, more often than not, is 2 Craster kippers. But this time they're hiding a pair of new slippers, washed up on New Biggin Beach. The trial was attested at Gateshead Assizes, a tune that sells stotties in 10 different sizes. They're all canny folks, they've hung all the misers, the ones with short arms and long pockets. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Murder and mayhem most foul.
For all of those leaks that was murdered and slaughtered, you'd think this dog would be hung, drawn and quartered. But that Gateshead judge was far too soft-hearted. He freed him and then stroked his head. Now the leak-slashing whippets might have been shameless, but I'll tell ye, he was nae ignoramus. He went on X Factor, became rich and famous, and bought gilts at Gateshead's Hilton Hotel. Clever lad, he had his own butler to pick up his poop. His fiest was all over on tins of leek soup. At Glastonbury Festival he sang with his group, and this was the song that he sang. Sing!
Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Oh dear, death at the League Show. Murder and mayhem most foul.
Right, that's to the game.
Like to invite Lucy back to the platform, this time with Andy on the violin, the fiddle. I do apologise the interval that I got him All-Ireland champion on the melodeon. That was wrong. But anyway, you've met them before. Tell them what you're going to do. This is Lucy and Andy.
This is quite a serious song from Ed bit about the question of what happens afterwards. Father, won't you tell me, how does a lifetime flow? The pace and the direction, and all things I should know. I feel the blood inside me calling me to go. So tell me your long story, from springtime to the snow. He said, I threw stones in the pool of tide. I watched the ripples roll, waited till they came to rest in the harbor of my soul. Said to myself, that's all there is. All there is, no more. Just the ripple of the pool in the pool of time, to die on a distant shore. Mother, won't you tell me, as you walk along the lea, why you watch each evening the sun embrace the sea, smiling as a mother can. This she said to me, waves of all the things undone come racing home to me. She said, I threw stones in the pool of time. I watched the ripples roll, waited till they came to rest in the harbor of my soul. Said to myself, that's all there is. All there is, no more. Just the ripple of the stones in the pool of time that die on a distant shore. Children, won't you tell me those questions in your eyes? They echo in my memory with sounds I recognize. For long before I tasted sad comfort in this wine, I made my own life's shadow within my bowl of time. Thank you.
Well, it's Baz and Ingrid again. This time with a supergroup. Sitting in the wings, backing them up. Not that he needs them. In fact, I just want to point out that Barry is a superb instrumentalist himself. If I could play the guitar half as well as he did. But he's got somebody to do it for him tonight.
Yes, I feel very honoured. We've got the original cast of Last of the Summer Wine on guitar, fiddle and accordion. Really good. This is a song, all great songwriters, of which I'm sure you agree Ed is one. All songs, the essence of a good song, I think personally, is it lasts through time. And the relevance of the song seems to stay with time. And this song was written quite a few years ago, but it's as relevant today. Every single word of it is true. And based on what we all heard from Mr. Osborne yesterday, when I tell you the song is called The Workers' Song, you'll realise it's about a dying breed. Because I don't think there'll be many who are left shortly.
The last line in this song, of the last verse, is that the workers left to carry the can. And I mean, that's just what we're doing for the bankers, isn't it?
Come all ye workers who work night and day, by hand and by brain to earn your pay. For centuries long past, for no more than your bread, are you fought for your country and you cried for your dead. In your factories and mills, in your shipyards and mines, you're always being told, boys, keep up with the times. For your skills are not needed, they've streamlined your job. And with a stopwatch and slide rule, your pride they are robbed. Ah, but when the sky darkens and the prospect is war, who's given the gun, boys, and pushed to the floor, and expected to die for the land of his birth, when he's never owned one handful of earth? He's the first one to starve, he's the first one to die, he's the first one in line for that pie in the sky. But he's always the last when the cream is shared out. For the worker is working when the handouts are about. Yes, all of these things the worker has done, from tilling the field to carrying a gun, or yoked to the plough since time first began. And now he's expected to carry the can. So come all of you workers who work night and day, by hand and by brain, to earn your pay. For centuries long past, for no more than your bread, or you fought for your country and you cried for your dead. Or you fought for your country and you cried for your dead.
Come a long way to play for us, so we weren't going to let him get away with just a little snippet in the first half. He's going to come back and do two for us now. Jim Bainbridge.
Right, Ed writes songs for various occasions, some very sad. He wrote one about the Same Harbour disaster about 50 years ago, but sometimes for more enjoyable happenings. This one was written for a good friend of mine, a fellow called Jim Irvin, who's not here tonight, sadly. But, it was written for his 60th birthday a few years ago. As I sit here tonight, I'm telling you straight, it's nae bloody good getting hard. Now you might think you're wise, 'cause you've got saggy eyes, but it's nae bloody good getting hard. 'Cause all that you do is tell lee after lee, till leeing comes natural as breath. And if all of your lees was turned into fleas, you'd be scratching yourself half to death. It's nae bloody good getting hard. It's nae bloody good getting hard. For it's 10% truth, and the rest is all mouth. Aye, it's nae bloody good getting hard. Now you gone to the match, and it's not up to scratch. It's nae bloody good getting hard. The ref blaws for nout, nae one puts it about. It's nae bloody good getting hard. You remember the days when all football players were playing for pride and not greed. Aye, just after the war, Nat Lofthouse could score from 35 yards with his head. It's nae bloody good getting hard. It's nae bloody good getting hard. For it's 10% truth, and the rest is all mouth. Aye, it's nae bloody good getting hard. No, your pub's never heard of a domino board. It's nae bloody good getting hard. And you can't get a pie, 'cause they're all watching Sky. It's nae bloody good getting hard. And I mind when you'd feed off a lovely sheep's head and a big bowl of tripe on the bar. Now chips is called fries, and there's folks wearing ties, and what quiches are just divinar. It's nae bloody good getting hard. It's nae bloody good getting hard. For it's 10% truth, and the rest is all mouth. Aye, it's nae bloody good getting hard. Now old folks can't rap, and they talk loads of crap. It's nae bloody good getting hard. The world's in a mess, we're all suffering from stress. It's nae bloody good getting hard. Stress wasn't around when a pound was a pound and a dollar was half a 10 bob. I wish I was there when I had me own hair and all me own teeth in me gob. It's nae bloody good getting hard. It's nae bloody good getting hard. For it's 10% truth, and the rest is all mouth. Aye, it's nae bloody good getting hard. And I think that you'll find that you can't get your wind. It's nae bloody good getting hard. And the short time you have, you'll spend on the lav. It's nae bloody good getting hard. Someone's only to say, how you doing today? And you're chewing the lugs off the head. 'Cause if half of it's true, they say it's wrong with you. Why, there's people more healthy that's dead. It's nae bloody good getting hard. It's nae bloody good getting hard. For it's 10% truth, and the rest is all mouth. Aye, it's nae bloody good getting hard. Right. Thank you. Teddy. Thank you. There's one fellow around who doesn't seem to be troubled with getting hard. Which, when you get older, you find out about all kinds of changes happen to you. You know, first of all, you get ignored by your family, and then you kind of do those DIY jobs around the house that your wife always got you to do. And I mean, there's other advantages as well, but this fella who doesn't suffer, he seems to enjoy eternal youth anyway, is a fella called Cliff Richard. By the flickering light of the telly, in a home just like hundreds you've seen, watching a show by Cliff Richard, sat a little girl glued to the screen. Now kids can be cruel, there's no question. They say things you'd rather ignore. But this little girl started singing as her poor daddy came through the door. Why don't you look like Cliff Richard? Lean, lithe and coiled like a spring. You're the same age as Cliff Richard, and daddy, you can't even sing. Once, said this little girl's daddy, Cliff and I were like peas in the pod, but Cliff got the breaks that were going, while I ended up with a hod. Now don't ever think I'm complaining, for Cliff looks much younger each night. But has he ever carried bricks when it's raining, or trudged through the mud on the site? This little girl then, she looked thoughtful, 'cause she knew that her dad was sincere. So she climbed on his knee and she kissed him. Then she whispered these words in his ear. Why don't you look like Cliff Richard? Lean, lithe and coil like a spring. You're the same age as Cliff Richard, and daddy, you can't even sing. This daddy, he went on a diet. He jogged 50 miles every week. He gave up the pies and the pasties till he looked much younger and sleek. And then home from the shop with his parcels and clothes of immaculate choice, his little girl thought he looked lovely, and she sang at the top of her voice, Dad, you look just like Cliff Richard, lean, lithe and coiled like a spring. You're the same age as Cliff Richard, but Daddy, you still cannot sing. Thank you very much.